Joining us now, retired FBI Special Agent Colin Schmidt, former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama and Newsmax legal analyst Jay Town. And with us on set throughout the show today, Trump Advisory Board member and founder of the Last Stand Political Action Committee, Jason Meister. It's a pleasure to have all three of you here. Jason, I want to start with you, and I want to rehash something that Jack Smith said in this interview here, just the beginning of it. He said, I think the attacks on public servants, particularly nonpartisan public servants, I think it has cost our country. The cost is so incalculable. I think that it's hard to communicate to folks how much this is actually going to cost us, okay? Couldn't you make the argument he did just that he and Democrats did exactly what he's talking about?
That was going to be my question. I heard the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, crazy.
Great minds think alike.
Well, you know.
That's absolutely true. And look what Jack Smith did to this country. He should be sanctioned. He should be disbarred. He should be indicted, convicted, and imprisoned for what he did. This is atrocious. The American people should be chilled by this. The idea that Jack Smith was spying and surveilling on U.S. senators, he essentially created a dragnet over January 6th to any MAGA supporters, 30 million MAGA Trump supporters, trying to tie connections to making up crimes for Trump supporters. It's insane what we've just went through. The last decade of politicization of the Justice Department, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, it's got to stop.
Yeah, Jay, from a legal standpoint, I mean, to Bob's point as well, wasn't Jack Smith doing exactly what he said was wrong with this DOJ?
Yeah, I've heard had it with the lectures from these liberal lawyers crying wolf about political prosecution. We've heard it from Tish James over the last several months, Jim Comey really over the last several years, and now Jack Smith, who led the most politicized investigation and prosecution in American history. Let's not forget that the high-profile cases involving Jack Smith, to include the President of the United States, those cases were gutted by either the district court judge or the United States Supreme Court or the circuit courts in between. Let's not forget that his J6 case was absolutely gutted by the Supreme Court. And the Mar-a-Lago documents case was gutted by Judge Cannon. His prosecutions, by the way, were dismissed by the Biden DOJ. And then you have Andrew Weissman, an MSNBC contributor who is Mueller's bulldog, sitting there like some unbiased moderator when he's not. He's another liberal lawyer. And, you know, don't forget, $50 million spent on the Mueller investigation that somehow was devoid of any mention of the ICA report that was fabricated by Obama and the rest. So as a career prosecutor, I am absolutely disgusted and tired of hearing about the accountability coming to those who did weaponize the justice system.
Colin, we want to get to you next, but first I want to bring up a soundbite from Jack Smith on transparency.
If there's sensitive information or the protection of witnesses, you can't make everything public if you're going to also say protect witnesses or protect sensitive information. But the goal should be to make as much of it public as possible and make your reasons for doing things as public as possible. I think when people don't understand what the courts are doing and don't understand what prosecutors are doing, that's when distrust happens. The second is you have to have integrity. You have to be a truth teller and someone who can be trusted to do things for the right reasons. But the third, and the third one's often the hardest, is you need to be able to communicate 1 and 2 to the public.
Katrina, what was the thought you just had while that was playing?
I just said something to the effect of, I don't know, what did I say?
Spying on people?
I was like, he was spying on people.
Sorry. Senators.
Thanks,
Colin,
Bob.
Yeah, no problem. Your reaction to that?
Well, I'm just aghast at his hypocrisy. I mean, he just doesn't have any self-awareness. The fact that they spied on 8 sitting senators completely blows up the Constitution. You have co-equal branches of government. He created his 4th branch of government where he went out and essentially abused the privacy of sitting senators. The fact that he did that, and then if there was indeed FBI agents that went along with that, it just makes me disgusted that this person holds a law license and is practicing law or purportedly practicing law in the defense of the Constitution. There does need to be a reckoning here because that was absolutely unacceptable for them to look at these senators' phone records.
Yeah, what do you think about this, Jason, again, because we just see, to both Colin and Jay's point, that the left continues to be hypocritical. And they say this stuff has got to stop, but all the stuff they're talking about are exactly the things that they have been doing for years. How does anything change when people are in denial and refuse to admit if they've done things wrong?
Yeah, look, there's only one way to deter this from ever happening again, and it's making Jack Smith and others a public spectacle. They have to be indicted, they have to be arrested, they have to be convicted, and they have to be imprisoned so that other government officials and people of power don't weaponize the U.S. government and its three-letter agencies against the American people, private U.S. citizens, and the opposition party. We are now leaving an era of criminal authoritarianism. We are never going back.
Okay, the president, Kash Patel, set to speak around 3 o'clock. We'll see what they have to say here. Gentlemen, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.